All right, guys. ASAP Grim here. Looks like we have good stream quality. We got video, we got audio. So we have a stream. You don't have game audio right now because I'm tabbed out. But it is now time for me to close out some of these windows to conserve memory on my system. And I just need to confirm that I'm streaming well on each of them. So Restream looked good. YouTube looks good. Twitch looks good. Kick looks good. Oh, I'm noticing that you guys are clipped a little bit on the bottom. Oh, not whenever I go full screen, though. Okay. And then I'll keep Rumble up to monitor video quality. All right, well, we're back into WoW Classic. I don't remember if it's Classic Era or just Classic, but it's the Wrath of the Lich King version. I have been playing the heck out of some SOD, some Season of Discovery. I have a bunch of characters, and I'm basically trying to figure out what my main is going to be. So I'm kind of rifling through the vast majority of classes, not all of them. There's a couple classes that I don't have any interest in, but most of them. Oh, I got more mail. Riri. Yeah, I just sent those randomly, but I did find the episode on YouTube. Oh, nice. Hey, thank you, Riri. That's cool, man. So he heard me. Oh, he got my message. Whenever I replied back and said thank you, that was cool. Ah, man, I really like that. It's like another level of interaction with the audience. Well, we're here in Tanaris. We're level 52. We're pushing fast towards moving to the Outlands. And we're going to be wrapping up Tanaris today, probably going into Nguro Crater is what it looks like. Let's see, I need to sell.
Welcome to Tanaris, adventurer. How can I be of service to you today? You don't look like a blacksmith to me, but I know how looks can be deceiving.
Do I want the moonberry juice? 1344, 1992. Yeah. Let's start working with runeberry juice. I haven't done any fishing in quite a while, but I want to keep those things on me. I'm not interested in doing this quest. Oh, this actually... No, this isn't what I thought it was. I do want to do that. Upper map fragment. Yeah, I'll keep that on me. We got the wastewater. Sure. Bring my leather items up here. Actually, we'll sell those. And then that leaves the cloth. And I don't need any of that. We'll sell all that. Well, I'll keep the stack of 20 mage cloth because I think I'm leveling. No, I'm on rune cloth. We're not seeing it drop. Get rid of this. Replace this. I have 15 rune cloth remaining. I almost never need to bandage. And then we got 20 heavy mage weave to back that up. So I can, in fact, sell this. Okay, how am I doing on ammo? What's my ammo count? 3,365. Not bad. We'll probably pick up some more because there's that kind of ammo is here in this zone. Okay. I guess we'll just bring up the map. Noxious Lair Investigation. Centipar insect parts. 0 of 5. There was also something I needed to go swimming in the water for. Okay, this is a green, though. I probably do need to knock that out. This Violent Tragon. And I don't see that represented here. Super Sticky. Bungle in the Jungle. If I back out of this map. Yeah, there's nothing really else. I Okay. So I'm thinking Violent Tragan is out here in these water areas here, but we'll go here first. So let's mount up. And we're going west. Head west, young man. You can see the tentacles moving in the distance. I think back whenever I was playing WoW, because I didn't have any understanding at all of the lore, the surrounding lore, to the point that there were things that were being brought into WoW that I just thought were brand spanking new. I was unaware that there was something called Warcraft. And this was the point, I think, that I started my interest started fading a little bit, because to me, this was sort of a futuristic from outer space kind of thing that they were building up in the entire next layer idea. And I was like, man, this sucks. This is sci-fi being mixed in with, I mean, I don't mind sci-fi, but not whenever I'm playing a sword and board fantasy kind of game. And I thought they were kind of going in a bad direction there. I didn't realize that they were pulling from existing lore, and that the entire game really centers on stuff that came from another world to begin with. Level 49. So we're gonna beat up on these things out here. You can see I'm really just applying the sting and then auto-shotting these things down. Okay, we got 2 of 5 already. Let's get this guy. Okay, well, let's hold on. Okay. Lock window, close, create window, end combat only, click through. Okay. Effect window, effect bars, editing window. What if, is it maybe in profile? Profiles. No. Skin selection, bars, title bar, window general. Window automation. While not in a group. Enabled. Okay, well that's it. That's whether I can see it or not. It's bothering me that I'm just not able to... I might need to uninstall that add-on completely and reinstall. I don't know if that's going to do it, though, because it, like, saves your logs in a certain area, and I have done something in this setup where it's not tracking me. Maybe if I'm in a party, but not right now, and that's pissing me off. Okay, where are we at? We're at 2 of 5 insect parts. Where are we at? Still 2 of 5. Alright, we'll knock this guy down, and then we'll see if I can start pulling some packs together. Three. Yeah, well, 4. Okay, we're done. Should have done that from the get-go. Okay, we're going to head all the way out to the coastline. See if we can get that violet Tragon. I'm also going to re-up on ammunition. There's the crater down there. We'll find some T-Rexes out there. I always like returning to the hunter after kind of grinding away on various characters in WoW Season of Discovery. And, I mean, like, I don't have a hunter on WoW SOD. I'm working on a rogue right now, actually. But, so just getting back to a hunter, which is just easy to level. It's autopilot, you know? It's real chill. Real chill. Is nice. And then on top of that, entering into Wrath of the Lich King, where I'm not level capped at 25. Which I really love that about SOD, by the way. Everything about SOD is allowing me to take the game at a pace where I can kind of learn things that I never had a really very realistic chances of learning before, because the server would just move so fast. You know, the speed levelers would set the pace and everybody would kind of keep up with that. It just really pushed. It pushed the pace at which you went through content. And so then if you want to learn how to do something like tanking, you're having to learn on the fly with a character that has all his abilities available to him, or a lot of them, in dungeons and instances that are increasingly less forgiving as you get up in higher level. Not only because the hit points are growing, but because the mechanics are expecting you to know how to do things. And WoW SOD neutralizes all of that. It completely... It mitigates it. It locks the entire server into a certain bandwidth of levels, so like a power band of levels, for about 3 months, 3 to 4 months. And it's been great, man. I've learned how to tank on a paladin. I'm learning how to tank right now on a warrior. Everything is really easy at this level. In fact, it's mostly, you can tank with a two-handed sword. It's actually more about doing damage in order to hold threat. So you're almost going as DPS, but you're having to think like a tank. People are depending on you to hold aggro. And so I'm practicing stuff like facing the mobs away from the group and stuff like, you know, it allows me to work on really, really basic things while employing a character skill set that's still extremely rudimentary. And I can't overstate how beneficial that is to someone like me. You know, like it's like you could do that with any character out there, but when the server itself doesn't really allow for it, the culture doesn't allow for it, you don't have a whole lot of options to figure that stuff out. Now, I just saw somebody say this. I don't know if they were joking or not, but they said something like retail is going to allow you to sign up into a party of bots. And they were making fun of that, saying, you got to be kidding me, really? But to me, that sounds really cool, because it would allow you at higher levels to solo group level content with bots, where you can kind of learn what you're doing, or you could maybe, especially if you could bring a friend along, and then fill the rest of your group out with bots. That's a perfect learning opportunity for healers and tanks before they get into live action with a bunch of people that are going to be exceptionally expectant. Like, there's a total 100%, I'm going to say this as derisively as I can. If you can detect the derision dripping from me on this statement, it's because it's there. There's this sense of entitlement amongst WoW players that's absolutely positively disgusting. It's disgusting, the level of entitlement that people are exhibiting. And it makes learning how to do these things real difficult, because you're under a lot of heat, a lot of stress, because everybody's expecting you to be up to speed, you know? Now, there's a counter argument to that. Don't come to this stuff and put people into groups whenever you ain't ready for it. Okay, but how do you get ready for it? There's got to be a balance there. That's just life. That's not just World of Warcraft. That's life. Fisherman, I can't seem to find this guy. I know that there was a merchant here for... Oh, here it is.
What's up?
So, so that, to me, hearing about the bots in retail, that actually sounds interesting to me. Okay, I think this is a regular bag slot, actually, so looks like I'm maybe one over. I don't really, it's hard to tell which ones are which. Is there a way that I can narrow that down? One, two, three, four, five, six. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Okay, yeah, so I went over by one, but we now got about 7,000 pieces of ammo. So anyway, I'm pretty excited to see how that works in retail, since we'll be spending quite a lot of time in retail, to be honest. It looks like. I don't know, that's me speaking without really understanding retail. But SOD's been a blast because of those things that I spoke about. Where's that flower at? Let's maybe read this quest. I think we have to find this ourselves. When I was a kid, my sister used to do all the cooking. It was horrible. I could barely stomach some of her concoctions, blah, blah, blah. If you want me to help you turn this hard-tasting brew into something edible, head to the hinterlands and look for a small lake there. Oh, man, we got a long ways to go, guys. That's a heck of a flight. It's a boat ride also. Man, we got a long ways to go. Okay, well, I guess we might as well get started on that. Does a ship come here that goes to Booty Bay? That might be Dustwallow Marsh. No, I thought it was here. This is a neutral site. It's got both Horde and Alliance in it, and so does Booty Bay, so it would make sense that you would have those 2 points connect together. You don't want to drop Horde off in an Alliance exclusive zone, right? And vice versa. So we should have a ship here. But it might be Dustwallow Marsh, Theramore. Oh man, I just can't remember. Yeah, I don't recall. I'm kind of crimping into my XP per hour, but we need to get some of this stuff knocked out. These are green quests. Probably, to be honest, the smart thing to do is to abandon it. I think I'm going to do that. Oh, what am I doing? I stopped in the middle of enemy territory. I thought we were already at the town. I'm a knucklehead. I can't let it go. We're gonna go get this flower. I don't think I'm a completionist, but sometimes I act like one. Let's see, we need to go this way. I guess we'll turn this quest in first. And Paladin horses look so cool. I've liked them since day one. My very, very, very first character was actually a Paladin. It aligns with my personality type, I think. It's an attractive archetype for me. And I started out on Alliance. But pretty soon, the friends that got me into WoW to begin with, you know, they all wanted to go Hordes, so we eventually did. That was after I ran into... We met Goon Squad. We met Goon Squad, and we were like, nope. We're going to nope the heck out of here and start over on another server. Where's the quest giver? Is he up on the hill over here? There he is, okay.
In need of some alchemy supplies, are we? Or do you have other business with me?
Good work! I'll start my analysis on these now. I can tell you right from the start, though. These are nothing like any insect form I have ever seen. It's almost as if these bugs are being controlled by an outside force or something. You need to go talk to Fizzledowser right away. Apparently there is an emergency that he needs your help with on the double. I'm not sure, but I think it involves more of the bugs in the Tanaris desert.
Okay, we're gonna fly up to Theramore, and we'll take a ship over to the continent, the other continent, from there. I could have sworn that there was a boat here. I still think that there's a ship that comes here. It seems like I got on one in WoW Classic. WoW SOD. Well, no, that's not likely. That's not likely at all. I wouldn't have brought one of those characters out to a zone like this. So it's probably with this character. Let's see the water change. This is one of the things I used to like about Florida. You could, up in northern Florida where you, like northwestern Florida, where you connect to the Gulf, you have water that looks like this. It's this emerald kind of green-blue. It's crystal clear. But as you transition down to someplace like Daytona, you're dealing with the Atlantic, and it does what we just saw. The gradient. Well, I mean, no, I don't know why I said that. They're two different bodies of water. It's not like I don't think you have a gradient change. You just have two different colors, depending on whether you're looking at the Gulf or whether you're looking at the Atlantic. I always loved the ocean. I don't live near it anymore, and I kind of miss it. I don't dreadfully miss it, but sometimes I kind of miss it. Man, that's a lot of eagles flying up there. Oh, they're seagulls. Okay. All right, now we wait. You can see the conversation happening here between these two guys, and this guy's a dissenter. He's looking to recruit people who are disgruntled with how things are going in the Alliance right now and to form a rebel faction that would ally with people like Van Cleef. Am I at the right place? Yeah. Alright, so is this going to take me to Menethil or Booty Bay? This is an alliance, so it's going to be Menethil. I think Ratchet goes to Booty Bay. I'm going to mute Mike and grab a drink. I've been doing a series for a really long time now, actually. I think a couple years, on my first journey through Elden Ring. And I'm in the Halig Tree now, and boy, that's been a real blast. And I'm putting the final touches on that chronicle as we speak. I just got done dropping Melania. It didn't take me as long as I thought it would, but that fight was crazy tough. Yeah, wetlands. So Menethil Harbor. This is where I wanted to go. It's a closer flight to the hinterlands.
Where would you like to fly to?
And that whole level, the Halig Tree, man, it's one of my favorite places. I really can't even put my finger on why. But there is something about that zone that I think is really, I don't really know what the word is I'm looking for. It's kind of like hauntingly beautiful. It's sort of this isn't an actual phrase, but I think you might get the gist of what I'm saying. I might describe it as something like dread charm. You know, it's like, it's charming, but it's a dilapidated place that's got, you know, you get got there real easy. You know, it's got some high level, hard hitting stuff. But, I guess the ambience and the music and the feel of the zone are really cool and unique. And that's in a game that every zone has its own feel to it. And this is just kind of like a cut above. So I've really thoroughly enjoyed going through the Halig Tree. It's been one heck of a journey. This has taken me quite a long time to put this series together, and part of what made it so long is that I had almost done a complete journey on a previous character, but kind of ignorantly, from a position of ignorance, I crossed a red line and really kind of messed my game up, so I had to start over again. So this is practically a journey number 2 for me without being a journey number 2. And so I've been at it for about, I think it's been 2 years now. Because I do 3 episodes a week and I don't really do anything off screen. Everything is recorded. When you're doing a first journey playthrough, that's, in my opinion, that's what you're trying to capture, is the sentiment of seeing things for the first time. Now, I am following a walkthrough guide, Fighting Cowboys guide, so that I don't mess my game up. But there are plenty of times, like this last episode that I recorded, which hasn't been released yet. It releases on Wednesday. But the Melania fight, I listened to Cowboy explain like the basic mechanics of the Melania fight, but I didn't watch him actually do it. I went and experienced all that for myself without spoiling anything for myself, you know. I was actually surprised I was able to go this many years without spoiling that for myself. I didn't see anything on YouTube. I clicked away from stuff all the time. It's a little bit remarkable. Okay, so I should have a marker. Yep, there it is. Oh, that's the snapshot. Okay, okay. Yeah. So we can do both these quests here. I'm glad that I came here then. We needed 2 quests. That makes me feel a little bit better. I'm on a basic course to run right into this. Bunch of moonkin. Let's scale these hills right on this left side. Oh, we're right in the middle of their camp. That was quite a lot to navigate. How are we looking now? Alright, we're coming up on it. Valorwind Lake. That's a cool name. Okay, now we're going to need... Where's that snapshot thing? Right here. We're going to need this on a hotkey. Okay, there's nothing else down here. Now we go all the way out to the coastline. That is a long hike. One of these days, I might have to try a PvP server again. I really hate the griefing, but it does add a heightened sense of danger. It's another level of excitement that you'll just never experience on a PvE server. Risk, you know? Tactical decision-making as to where you go, where you don't go. What kinds of things in the game are open to, like on WoW SOD, I can go mine as an Alliance character in the Barrens and do Wailing Caverns runs with my warrior. Oh, we are in a different spot. Saradane. That's a special place. We don't want to be here. And obviously you wouldn't be able to do that on a PvP server. It's just not realistic. Let's see, where am I? I'm going the wrong way. So this is a river going out to the ocean. Okay. Is there a safe way down? There probably is, but it's going to be like one place. I do know that I can jump off the waterfall and pretty much make it. I'm fairly sure there's another way. I don't immediately know where that way would be at, so we're going to do it this way. Geronimo. All right, we got to find Gamarita. And then we will Hearthstone back to Gadget Sand. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he is... Oh, there he is. Target and click to take a snapshot. Maybe I need to be closer. Oh, I got it. Okay. Let me make sure about that. Oh, my pet's really tearing into him. I better bring my quest log up. And let me get one shot in so I get credit for this kill. Okay, quest log. Did that work or do I have to wait for a respawn? It did work. The super snapper. Okay. I don't know why I couldn't find that up here. I was looking for the words Gamarita. No, super sticky. I don't see it represented up here. Oh. Feralis. Super snapper. Yeah, that would be why. Okay, so now we Hearthstone back, and I guess we'll fly up to Feralis.
Where would you like to fly to?
Oh, that was cool. Not Desolus. Thalinar, maybe? And if not there, then it's going to be Feathermoon.
See you soon.
We'll just have to check both. What am I going to do next? The Green Drake is in a dungeon. I should clean my quest log up. I'm never going to do that, so let's open quest log, open Hunter, Abandon this. Okay, abandon all of my Zulfaric. Okay. So we got the stone circle. Retrieve the stone circle from Marvon Rivet Seeker's workshop in Ratchet. Okay, so we need to fly to Ratchet. Bungle in the jungle. Bring a Gorishi scent gland and 5 Ngoro soil samples. So that's in Ngoro. And Super Sticky is also in Ngoro. And then there is a quest that can be gained somewhere around here, I think, that I can do. I saw that while I was off screen. It was whenever I first came into the Tanaris zone, and I didn't want to pick it up while not recording, or streaming. So we'll see if I can find it now that I am streaming. Before I had a map marker because there was a quest that took me to that area. And then once I completed that quest in that area, there was another one to be had. But we'll see if I can find it again on my own. I won't spend too awful long trying. Is that here? Or is that this place over here? Ruthrin Village. Oh, it's all the way up here. Okay, so we're going to have to fly from here to here, and then down here to Ratchet. Ugh. If I had all this to do over again, I would have gone this route, then taken a boat over to Menethil Harbor, gone to the Hinterlands, and Hearthstoned back. Yeah, that sucks. Okay, well, we got a lot of travel time on deck for us. One of the things that actually appeals to me once we get over to retail is being able to take a high-level character and go in and just put a butt whooping down on these low-level dungeons and find out how high up can I go, you know? Solo them is what I'm talking about. Which we have one of the classes that are absolutely outstanding at that sort of thing. At some point in time, you reach a certain power level that no matter what class you're on, you're going to be able to wipe that content out. But I'm saying that I believe my hunter will be able to take that up to a higher level than, say, an unsupported warrior. I might have to do a stream dedicated just to that. Maybe we'll do that whenever I reach level 60 or something. I don't know. I have a feeling I'll probably just do that on, like, save it for retail. This playthrough here, I'm really just trying to kind of get through it while also experiencing some of the content. Trade supplies, food and drinks, stable master, cloth and armor merchant.
Hello.
With repair. That's what I was looking for. Alright, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. She's so photogenic. That's funny. Okay, we have a long flight ahead of us here. Let's
Where would you like to fly to?
Let's maybe go to Ratchet first, actually. Yeah.
Good luck.
7 minutes. Then we're gonna have to go up to the Darnassus area. And then we got to come all the way back down to Gadgets Inn, I guess. I don't need to go over to the other continent. All right, I am going to mute Mike and all right, I'm back. We still got 4 minutes left. Oh boy. I went and got a pudding cup, and I love these things. I'm not even really old yet, but you know, they say old people like pudding. But it's one, oh man, I am old. I got the 0 sugar kind. I normally don't do that. But it's one of those Jello. Chocolate and vanilla, that's my favorite. I like the mix of chocolate and vanilla. It's yummy. I've always liked that. Three and a half minutes left. Oh gosh. All right. Watching this hunter develop has been fun. I am most likely going to start a hunter up eventually on the SOD server also. And what that will do for me, and I didn't plan it this way, but that will give me a marksmanship hunter on the Season of Discovery server, a beast mastery hunter here on Wrath of the Lich King, and a survival hunter, which I have never done before, so that's going to be a learning process over on the retail whenever we transition over to retail. So I guess I'll be pretty well acquainted with hunters. That was never actually my intent. But it is a beginner-friendly class. It's hard to do bad on a hunter. I'm sure you have a line of demarcation between guys who are really good with them and the rest of the crowd. But it's hard to find a hunter that does just terrible DPS. I think it's an excellent starter character to get into a game like this with. Gosh, would you say that it's the most beginner-friendly class in the game? I think it might be. Okay, where are we supposed to go for this? Rivet Seeker's Workshop. I think that might be here. Unless they have an engineering area. Is there maybe a gear icon? I can't really scroll in enough. What's that guy's name again? Rivet? Is it Rivet Seeker? From Marvon Rivet Seeker's Workshop. I'm not seeing his name pop up. What if I switch tracking over to humanoids? Man, I'm not seeing this dude. Marvon Rivet Seeker's Workshop. Let's just start looking at the titles of shops. This looks like something to do with engineering. I don't see anybody named Marvon. Stone Circle. Charge of the Dragonflights. Oh, there's a story that you can read. Well, that's interesting. Let's look at it. I wonder how many people haven't seen this. How many pages is it? It's like 8 paragraphs. Satisfied that the small world had been ordered and that their work was done, the Titans prepared to leave Azeroth. However, before they departed, they charged the greatest species of the world with the task of watching over Kalimdor, lest any force should threaten its perfect tranquility. In that age, there were many dragon flights. Yet there were 5 flights that held dominion over their brethren. It was these 5 flights that the Titans chose to shepherd the budding world. The greatest members of the Pantheon imbued a portion of their power upon each of the flight's leaders. These majestic dragons, as listed below, became known as the Great Aspects, or the Dragon Aspects. Aman'Thul, the High Father of the Pantheon, bestowed a portion of his cosmic power upon the massive bronze dragon Nozdormu. The High Father empowered Nozdormu to guard time itself and police the ever-spinning pathways of fate and destiny. The stoic, honorable Nozdormu became known as the Timeless One. Ionar, the Titan patron of all life, gave a portion of her power to the Red Leviathan, Alexstrasza. Ever after, Alexstrasza would be known as the Life Binder, and she would work to safeguard all living creatures within the world. Due to her supreme wisdom and limitless compassion for all living things, Alexstrasza was crowned the Dragon Queen and given dominion over her kind. Ionar also blessed Alexstrasza's younger sister, the little green dragon Ysera. I think Ysera hangs out in what's it called? Duskwood. With a portion of nature's influence, Ysera fell into an eternal trance, bound to the waking dream of creation. Known as the Dreamer, she would watch over the growing wilds of the world from her verdant realm, the Emerald Realm. Morganon, the Titan lore keeper and master magician, granted the blue dragon, Malagos, a portion of his vast power from then on. His vast power. From then on, Malagos would be known as the Spellweaver, the guardian of magic and hidden arcanum. Khaz'garath, the Titan shaper and forger of the world, bestowed some of his vast power upon the mighty black worm, Neltharion. The great-hearted Neltharion, known afterwards as the Earth Warder, was given dominion over the earth and the deep places of the world. He embodied the strength of the world and served as Alexstrasza's greatest supporter. Thus empowered, the five aspects were charged with the world's defense in the Titan's absence. With the dragons prepared to safeguard their creation, the Titans left Azeroth behind forever. Unfortunately, it was only a matter of time before Sargeras learned of the newborn world's existence. Alrighty then. That's pretty cool. We will now continue our search for the stone circle. I might have to look this up online, but first let's take a look at the names of the shops. We're looking for Marvon Fizzle Bracket, Marvon Rivet Seekers Workshop. So I need store sign. Oh, is this another? Live Rizzle Fix. Marvon's chest. Here we go. And we got it. Okay, so now we'll take a flight up to Ruthven Village.
What's up?
Which is here. Ruthven. 7 minutes. Okay, I'm going to mute mic and finish my pudding cup. So I hear that the people who grew up with WoW retail as their kind of first experience, they can't stand these travel times. Like, it really grates on their nerves. I've always kind of liked it. To me, it meshes you, it immerses you into the world more, and it gives you a sense of scale. And anybody who's watched my channel or watched the other playthroughs I do in other games, you know that I'm enamored with a sense of scale. If you can create a world that feels big to me, that feels epic. Skyrim was the best one at it, in my opinion, because you could literally go anywhere that you looked, and it was a huge world. And if you saw it, you could go to it. Destiny is another really great example, because in that one you can't go every place that you see, but the way that the art works, it makes you feel like you're in a huge environment. Those skyboxes, even though you can't go to them, the level of detail in them and the sense of scale, like the one that comes to mind is I can't think of what it's called now, but it's one of the Earth zones. It's one of the first places you'll go to. And you got mountains off in the distance and broken satellite dishes that are enormous and that kind of a thing. And it just feels like you're operating in a little corner of a much, much larger environment. And you're not too concerned with that rest of the environment. You're more concerned with your what's called an AOR, area of responsibility, your mission impact area. But by doing the skyboxes the way they do, it makes you feel like you're in a whole world in just one small area of that world. So I think travel times help to create that kind of a feeling. And all of this stuff is now looking familiar. I just joined a guild in WoW SOD, and I went on my first BFD run. Black Fathom's Depths, I think is what that stands for. I didn't win anything, but I gained experience. I went with my Paladin as DPS, and I didn't do real good. I was kind of bottom of the pack, and but I've begun learning how to use parsing logs, and I don't obsess over them. But I do. It's a tool that's available to help show you what's going on. So, for instance, me just now dipping my toes into the whole world of logs, I was able to see that a big reason why my DPS was down was active versus inactive. So it was my first time through. I'm getting instructions from people, and I'm learning how to do the fights, and there's a lot, for me, there's a lot going on. So my active, it shows you what your DPS is whenever you're active. So that to me shows me what my potential is. So I'm looking forward to improving on that. But I was real happy to do something that is currently considered end game and do it successfully. We cleared the whole thing. That was fantastic, right? And do it with a group of people that I'm looking to cooperate with going forward. I'm in a guild called Turbo Team. It's called Turbo Team. And when you're my age, it's not just my age. I don't want to use that like an excuse, but it becomes easier for you to kind of fall behind on the technology gap. So there are things with Discord that you can do that I'm just not at all familiar with. But the guild leader of this guild that I'm in, he knows it. He's a younger guy. and I'm not saying that he's like 18. He's not. This is a full-grown man, right? But he's a lot younger than me. And he's got that thing set up with raid bots and stuff like that. So it's just the organization that we have is real nice, and it's a...
Hello, adventurer. I train and care for young hippogriffs here. Feel free to have a look around.
It's a group that is doing progression level content, but is casual about it. Like, they don't care what character I play. They're encouraging about whatever character I want to do. Let's see, what were we supposed to do here? Darren Lightwind. Doesn't Darren path around here? Darnassus Sentinel. These are all sentinels. I'm certainly not... Oh, wait, there's the question mark. Okay. I didn't see that initially. Darren must be up at the top here. Yeah, so I'm very pleased with my guild. I'm someone who I don't think I would call it social anxiety, because I don't want to take away from people who have actual social anxiety. I don't think I do.
Well, Kurgel's invention lived up to its expectations. Don't get too excited, but do know that I am pleased with your work, adventurer. Now, where did I leave that book?
Okay, so we got to deliver this book now. But for me, the initial step to go and join up with people where, I don't know if it's like you're dependent upon, or I don't know, you have some level of responsibility. This is something that for me it takes a conscientious effort. For me, the lazy thing, the really easy thing, the natural default position, because I'm very independent minded and I'm used to taking care of myself and I enjoy it.
Linked to the mainland, we have hippogriffs constantly flying between Rutheran Village and Darkshore.
Where was I supposed to? Oh yeah, here.
Mavista.
It's just really easy for me to continue to procrastinate on something like, let me join a guild and go in and be part of a raid where, you know, I'm running the risk that I could really flub everything up and everybody gets angry and yells at me about it. You know, these are I'm not soft. I can handle that kind of stuff, but I don't voluntarily enter into it. I've learned that it takes a conscientious effort for me to do that, because my default is, just do it alone, or I'll go take care of myself in some other way. You know, that's the easy answer for me. And I've learned that it took me a long time to figure that out about myself, but I've learned that is something that I have to cognizantly sort of fight against. So I'm talking about that because I'm illustrating how grateful I am that on my first try, the first guild I joined up with, it seems to be going in a positive way, you know, and I'm doing okay, and I'm helping the team, and the team right now is doing we have really good tanks apparently. I was talking with the guild leader after the raid. We were just chit-chatting about, I was asking like what kind of classes does the guild need and stuff, and we were just kind of talking shop, you know. And he told me that we have really, really good tanks. And right now, it's almost boring for our healers. They're just sort of sitting there topping people off, and there's not too many moments that press them, you know. So that's perfect for an entry-level person who comes in and is kind of like, I think I was either the worst or second worst DPS in the whole group, and I'm melee, you know, so I was getting outdone. We don't have a whole lot of casters, but I think I was getting outdone by some of the casters. You know, because it was my first time. But my character is capable of better DPS than that. Like the lower level dungeons, I've gotten good at those, and I'm usually topping DPS meters in those. I'm number 1 or number 2. And because I know those fights, and I can just apply the mechanics of my class now. So the gear that my guy has, I know he's capable of better than what he did. But I'm in a guild where we can afford for me to learn. So I've got a paladin, a warrior. I've got a level 16 priest. He's not in the guild right now. He's kind of sitting on the side, but priests, I've already talented him as Shadow, and Shadow is just really difficult right now. And I just started a rogue. I've got a level 7 mage, but I think I prefer the rogue. I don't know yet. I'm in the position where I'm fishing for a main. Who do I want to play the most? I think it's going to be my warrior. The downside being that we already have a lot of warriors and a lot of paladins. The server as a whole has a lot of warriors and a lot of paladins. But I think my warrior has so far been the most fun to play. But my guild doesn't really have a dedicated rogue, so I've started one, and I'm kind of learning how to play the rogue class. I'm not very familiar with it. And I just hit level 11, so by the time I get to level 25, I think I'll have a good idea as to whether or not I like the rogue or not. It may be that I need to play a hunter. I enjoy hunters, I like hunters, and I'm more familiar with them at this point. But I'd like to give this rogue a shot and see how it turns out. I've always heard that rogue is a class that you can do respectable damage even as a noob, but to play a rogue really well is hard. It's actually hard. It takes skill, and so I don't know if I've got that or not. So that's one of the things that I'm trying to find out. Now, whenever I say all of that, that's knowledge from 14 years ago. There's a lot that's changed. I don't know if that's true still. You know, I just don't know. One of the reasons back in the day, I think the way that I got into Warrior was that I started out playing Rogue, and I think I ended up on my Rogue going to Dagger, and I want to say it was the Assassination Tree, because I did Seal of Fate, and I preferred that to the Shadow Step of Subtlety. But I liked Daggers thematically, but I found that combat was better for DPS, so I went to swords. I went to dual swords. I might have even tried dual maces, but I think I settled on dual swords. I did combat, and by the time I was kind of done experimenting and stuff, I reached a conclusion where I thought to myself, you know, if combat is the best for where the rogue is at that point in time, why not just play a Fury Warrior? Roll around and plate. Just beat the hell out of things, you know? It's a lot more straightforward, less gimmicky, more survivable. You know, it's simple. And so I switched over to Fury Warrior, and I never really got to a point that I could see what the high end of that class would be, because warriors are that class that they scale the best. You get them really top end gear and they're absolute juggernaut nightmares on the battlefield, whether PvE or PvP. They're an absolute terror to deal with. And I wasn't in the kind of guild that could get me that kind of stuff. No, also I kind of quit WoW about the time that I was just getting into some, even like blues at level, whatever level it was that my warrior was at. I don't remember if he was 60 or 70 or 80. Was Wrath of the Lich King the one where you could go to 80? I quit early in Wrath of the Lich King, so anyway, that I kind of have that same wondering in the back of my mind, because currently on SOD it seems like dual swords combat, I forget what the rune is called now, blade something or another, that's the way to go. That's where all the top DPS rogues, that's what their specs are, all of them. So there's a definite meta for the rogue, and I'm sitting there being like, well, really, at the end of the day, which one's better, a combat rogue or a dual-wield warrior? It seems to me like if you really want rogue to be the best, it's got to be dagger. That's what's unique about them. Like whenever I think in terms of if I was a game developer, my definition of one of the things that I would go with is that a hybrid class will never, ever, ever do what a mainline class does better than the mainline class. A druid bear tank will never, ever, ever be as good as a warrior tank. A paladin tank will never, ever, ever be as good as a warrior tank. Now, maybe in some aspects, like a paladin tank is better for multi-mob tanking, because that makes a paladin an absolutely fantastic off tank, and I would probably do the same for a druid bear. But your main single target tank, that should always be warrior. That would be my design philosophy. A paladin healer or a druid healer should not be able to do the things that a priest does as well as a priest.
You have brought a book along. Excellent. This stave might be the stave of Equinix. The stave of Equinix is actually a key used to unlock the Equinix monolith in the ruins of Ravenwind on the mainland west of the Dreambow. Find the 4 flames that still burn in those ruins. Sama, Imbel, Bilton,
Oh, look,
and
Blackrock
Lhasa.
Depths.
Retrieve their essence, and then, while standing by the Equinix monolith, use the essences to energize the stave. If this is truly as the stave of Equinix, you will be able to unlock the monolith and gather a sacred artifact from it.
Was that the quest that I just now picked up? Did they give me a quest? I don't think so. What are you offering now?
Might be the stave of Equinix. The stave of Equinix is actually a key used to unlock the Equinix monolith in the ruins of Ravenwind on the mainland west of the Dreambow. Find the 4 flames that still burn.
Is that a
in those
dungeon?
ruins. Sama,
It's in
Imbel,
Feralis.
Bilton, and Lhasa. Retrieve their essence, and then, while standing by the Equinix monolith, use the essences to energize the stave. If this is truly as the stave of Equinix, you will be able to unlock the monolith and gather a sacred artifact from it.
I have a feeling this is a quest chain leading to a dungeon. Okay, let's go up here and see what we can accomplish. But I think this is probably going to lead us into a dungeon, which I'm not going to do. So yeah, the whole idea of these hybrid classes is that their versatility. They bring tools, a large toolkit. They can adapt to any kind of shifting circumstance. You know, you can switch to a bear form, or you can throw on Righteous Fury if your main tank went down, and you guys are really close to dropping the boss, and you just need somebody to hold aggro for a little bit longer. That's where a hybrid class should shine. Right, but they shouldn't be able to do what the primary class does better than the primary class. That's my take on it. And I think to a large degree that seems to be what WoW did. So I have questions about how, if I'm playing a combat rogue with swords, why should I not just go dual wield Fury Warrior? So I don't know. But I'm willing to take a look at it and try rogue out and see whether it fits me as a player. But I have a feeling that warrior is more up my alley. All right, we got to get over this road. I got to get off this beach then. I guess that's the bad thing about just swimming over. You don't really end up in the natural areas where the pathways lead up to access these roads. Oh, there we go. Okay, I think we aggroed that serpent. Doesn't matter, we're going to leave him in the dust. Okay, now we're on our way. You don't know till you know, so I'm interested in giving this rogue a shot. It does seem to me like, at least on Season of Discovery, getting to level 25 seems to give you an idea. It's a really good idea. You get a good sense of whether you not like the class or not. For example, on my warrior, up to probably level 16 or so. I don't remember. It might have been even higher than that. Maybe 20, actually. Yeah, I think it's 20. It was a bit of a grind. I was like, I don't know, man. I think I like my paladin more. But on my paladin, I kind of remember, I reminded myself, I felt the same way about my paladin. I was playing the paladin, and I was like, I didn't have anything to compare it to. I just figured all the classes felt this way. But once my paladin started hitting 17, 18, 19, or 20, somewhere around there, he was getting access to talents that made him feel kind of unique. And I was like, man, I like this class. This is fun. And it was almost like a surprise, And with the warrior, I remember at that point in time, I have the paladin to compare him to, and I remember being kind of like, what, I'm not seeing it, but everybody says, there's big arguments over not arguments, but people are always asking, should I go paladin or warrior? And there's back and forths, and that's a lot of people saying the same thing. So these two classes are comparable. So I just kind of stuck with it. And then sure enough, right around level 20, I'm like, oh man, I'm starting to like this guy. And he's two-hander arms right now, but when Phase 2 releases, it's looking like the spec to go to with Warriors going to be dual-wield Fury. So I'm going to be experimenting with that. Let's go ahead and attack. Because I am right in that area. Okay, so we need to... This stave might be the stave of Equinix. The stave of Equinix is actually a key used to unlock the Equinix monolith in the ruins of Ravenwind on the mainland west of the Dreambow. Find the 4 flames that still burn in those ruins. Retrieve their essence, and then while standing by the Equinix monolith, use the essences to energize the stave. Okay, so we got to find these 4 flames. There's one of them. Okay, that's one. So we need to look for these glitteries. So that's the monolith. I think I see, yep, there's another one right there. Okay, 2 of 4. Got the heal off on Wreck-It Ralph. So if he has to, he should be able to solo all these. And Hunter just easily handles stuff that I wouldn't be able to do very well on other classes. Maybe the Warlock. That's a pet class also. And I tell you, I like Affliction Warlock. I've talked about before. It really appeals to me, just being able to go in, send my pet in, gather up 5, 6, 7 mobs, throw a whole bunch of dots on everybody, and sit back and laugh. That's really appealing to me. But and it's unfortunate because my guild really needs a warlock. But Affliction is really the only thing that I like. I'm not very enamored with the mage archetype. In Season of Discovery, I might be, because it's a little bit different. That's the whole nature of Season of Discovery. But to me, the destruction side of Warlock was always a direct damage dealer. It was like a mage, right? And I felt like, well, then the mage is better, because that's what the mage specializes in. If you're going to play Destruction Warlock, why not just go with a mage and be better at it? Now, that's not really the case in Season of Discovery right now. Fire Warlocks are doing better than Fire Mages. But I question whether or not it'll stay that way. And then when it comes to demonology, I'm repulsed by it, man. I can't really I know why. I can't necessarily rationalize it to you. I didn't used to be. I played demonology whenever I was playing a warlock back in the day. Affliction was my favorite, but for leveling, I liked demonology. Because it made the tank strong, right? You got a special tank. You didn't get that guy. That was my favorite dude, too. He would go in, he would cleave a couple characters, kill one of them, and then he would just, in this like Russian voice, he'd be like, "What happened to your friend?" I always loved that. What happened to your friend? He just turned his friend into a bowl of spaghetti. There's, stuff all over the walls. And it just seems exceptionally mean. And I liked it. Yeah, I liked that about the class. But in WoW Season of Discovery, you actually turn into a demon, and as I've gotten older and the world has changed, I think I would tell you that I've gotten wiser, right? But not everybody would agree, because there's plenty of people that are going to consider me to be foolish because I believe there's a God. I believe that there's a devil. I believe there is such a thing as angels and demons, and that they're at work. But the whole thing really just, it's such a huge turnoff for me, and it's not even just a turnoff. It's almost like a warning within me that says, don't go there. Don't play around with that. That's just how I personally feel. That might not even be for everybody, is what I'm saying. That could just be for me where I'm at. Or what I'm prone to, or the things that appeal to me, or something to that effect. I hope I'm making sense to people. But whatever it is, so what I'm saying is that even another Christian, that might not apply to them. Maybe it's just me. But my guild really needs a warlock, and the only viable specs available to the warlock right now are the ones I don't like. Like, if I was going to be a direct damage destruction spec, which is the dominating spec for warlock right now, I would just want to play a mage with all of its AoE capabilities and not doing damage over time, but focused on direct damage and then crowd control, stuff like that. I think this is where I need to get to. And demonology is out because it's repulsive to me. It's something that I have a sneaky suspicion like I could get used to it and maybe even start to like it, and I don't want to get used to it or to start to like it. Like I said, I have this kind of warning thing inside my chest on that. And then Affliction, from what I read, the one spec that I really do like, I absolutely adore it, just from the mechanics. I love the idea of doing damage while simultaneously returning health to yourself through that damage. And the example that I've used in the past is the monk in Diablo 3. Obviously not a warlock, right? Nothing to do with demons. But that class did damage that also returned health, and that appeals to me really strongly. So that's Affliction kind of specializes in that. But it sucks. From what I'm seeing, it's a bad spec, and it's always been a bad spec. It was like that back in the day. I guess one of the big things you run into is that trash dies too fast. So Affliction shines the harder the content gets, but then you got to be an upper echelon player, and I'm not. So the class is just a catch-22 for me. So that's too bad, because my guild really needs one. But c'est la vie, sorry. Not happening. All right, the Equinix monolith stands silently among the ruins. What could it be holding? Holding the energized stave is almost impossible. Its power rumbles through your body. You reach out to the cold surface of the Equinix monolith. A small door opens, allowing you to reach in and take the artifact inside. Beams of light fill the area around the Equinix monolith. Okay, so we get this stone. The moment the artifact is removed from the monolith, you feel the energy in the stave of Equinix begin to fade. Return the sparkling stone and the stave of Equinix to Troyus, Moonbreeze, and Feathermoon Stronghold. And we'll get to choose one of these items. Let's see, that's 14 total. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It'll replace the Welkin ring. Okay. Let's mount up and head back to Troyus. So if Affliction becomes viable in the future, then you might see me play Warlock again. I could see that happening, because I really just like the mechanics of it a lot. I think that appeals to me maybe more than any other spec out there. Where was my solid shot? Steady shot. Okay. Let's skin them. So as I mentioned, I have a level 7 mage. And kind of similar to Warlock, I'm willing to explore him. The mage never appealed to me back when I was playing. Just never did. It's not something that excites me. But in Season of Discovery, for reasons that I have not been able to put my finger on, it does look kind of appealing. So there's potential there. But right now, as it stands, I think I really like both my warrior and my paladin. They're fun for different reasons. And they're similar classes, I suppose, in that they're both plate, they're both frontline, they're both melee. But they have different flavors to them. So and Death Knight might also eventually appeal to me quite a lot as well. And that's kind of unfortunate, because where Season of Discovery is at, melee is where it's at. That's where all the fire is at. It's melee and then everything else. And that I have a feeling that'll change in the future. Late game, as this season gets into the later stages where you're starting to approach your top level cap for the entire season, I think you're probably going to see Clothies pull ahead. But boy, they got a long grind ahead of them, where they're just not going to. They're gonna take a back seat, back of the bus, you know. So if you're wanting to feel like you're really contributing to your guild and doing a lot to help, it just seems to me like melee is absolutely where it's at, and it is to the point that maybe not for this next phase. Well, yeah, I mean, dual wield Fury. It's to the point that I'd have to see how this works out, because there's a reason people don't want to do this, I'm sure. But have a couple healers and a whole team of Fury warriors. Yeah, everybody's having to compete with each other on the gear. So run it 20 times, 25 times as a guild and get everybody geared up on that. Warrior is so far ahead of the pack right now that seems like a viable thing. You normally want to diversify, right? That's why you have a holy trinity of classes when it comes to MMORPGs, right? And the devs typically develop the game around the idea of you want classes to fill. You have roles that need to be met, and everybody's got gaps. Nobody can do everything, right? But Fury Warrior is so dang good at damage that it could be viable for you to have a priest healer and a druid healer. Maybe you want to bring a druid DPS to get the, what is it called, Wind Fury, but you don't necessarily have to have it. And then load out the rest of your development, your team with Fury Warriors. They're that good. Have a main tank, a warrior main tank, or a paladin. Paladin's actually very good at it, but I'm talking from the perspective of doing something that's typically considered ludicrous, which is to outfit almost your entire roster with the same class. And I think you'd be golden. They're that good. Okay, where's this guy at? Is he at the back one? Back this way? I'm not seeing... Oh, there he is. Yep, upstairs. Nope, downstairs. Troyus, that's right.
How may I help? I have been reading since you left, adventurer. This stone is called the Morrow Stone. While I am not entirely sure what its purpose is yet, you can be sure that it is something of great significance to be hidden away inside the Equinox monolith the way it was. I will continue my studies, and I hope I will be able to count on you in the future, adventurer. Thank you for all your help.
Okay, we got a talent point to spend. I just finished up Frenzy, it looks like. Oh, no, this is the one I'm working on. Serpent Swiftness. Increases ranged combat attack speed by 12%. Your pet's melee attack speed by 12%. Next rank is by 16%, and we're going to do that. All right. What can we learn? Explosive trap and multi-shot. That comes next level. Okay. Well, now, excuse me, we can Hearthstone. Well, let me make sure about that. Stone Circle is where? Seeker's Workshop. Stone Circle. I might be able to. Who are you? Where are you at? Well, I'm going to assume you're in Gadgets in. This is a dungeon. I'm probably going to get rid of that. Gadgets in. Okay. And then Nguro. Yeah, so we do want to go ahead and hearth. Okay, take off this tracking so I can better see the question marks for quests.
Hey, hiya! That's the stuff, adventurer. It looks so good. I might just... gotcha.
All right.
Here's the violet powder, adventurer. Take it to Marin and tell him he owes me a favor. Pleasure doing business with ya.
There's a quest waiting for me. I think it's outside the walls. Or, yeah, okay, here it is.
Oh, this is just terrible. I sent out my top assistant, Junior Surveyor Scrimshank, into the desert southeast of here. That's an area we call the Gaping Chasm. Well, he's gone missing, and his last report had more of those weird bugs where he was. Could it be that they've infested 2 major regions of the desert now? I need you to head into the Gaping Chasm and look for Scrimshank, please. That, or at least find his surveying equipment. I fear that may be all that is left of the poor sod.
Where is Marin? It said that he's in Gadgetsan, but I'm not seeing a question mark pop. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I'm not sure why that didn't show up on the map.
Living out here in the desert is rough. I get so thirsty standing outside in this heat.
Violet powder, eh? Let's give it a try. It sure couldn't make it any worse, that's for sure. Now, to mix this powder in with the dew, come back and talk to me in a minute, after I perfected the fabulous Noggin Fogger elixir. Drink this! It's absolutely wonderful. I knew I had it in me. Oh, thanks again, adventurer, for your help. But please, stand a little to the side, will you? You're blocking my business. I'm going to make millions on the fabulous Noggin Fogger elixir. Millions, what's that? Sprinkle says I owe her a favor? Oh, that's Sprinkle, such a kidder.
Huh. Okay, so we got a quest to hand to turn in out here. We got a quest to go look for out there. And we got a quest we just picked up that's somewhere else in this zone. So I want to work through all these things so that we can get into Nguro Crater. And we can officially say that we have closed out Gadgetsan. But we're not quite there. I'm making close to 40,000 XP per hour. You know, I assumed I had one. I don't think I do. Oh, the stone circle. Wasn't that where... Where do I need to take this? I once entered the foreboding chambers of the sunken temple. The evil in that place penetrates all that enter. I barely managed to find my way out, wading through the ooze that now covers the floors. All I can remember is stumbling through a large circular room filled with serpent statues. Recently, I discovered a round stone that appeared to have the same serpent symbol imprinted on it. I had it packed up, and shipped to my workshop in Ratchet. Retrieve it, and I might be able to tell you more. Man, I can't remember where this guy is at. Let's come double check over here. Doggone it. This one I am going to have to look up. The stone circle. Okay, so I'm alt-tabbing out. WoW Classic, the stone circle. Okay, there it is. Second quest in the Sunken Temple quest chain. Starts at Marvin Rivet Seeker and ends at Marvin Rivet Seeker. Okay, if I click on him. Goblin located at the Broken Pillar in Tanaris. The Broken Pillar. There it is. Okay, I think that's where this other quest that I could pick up was at also. Where is my guy? Okay. It's more off that way. Boy, going off-roading through the desert. That's a sketchy proposition. When I think of the desert and having to make a foray across a desert, there are two things that come to mind for me. One was a book I read called Vision Quest, and it was I read this when I was a kid, I think. I might have been a young adult. This was not a book that was assigned in school. I don't remember how I came across it, but it was about a young boy who was a Native American. And I can't remember the whole premise. I think he was trying to, he wanted to be in touch with, his ancestral roots, basically. And so he was talking to his grandfather or something, and they told him about a rite of passage that they used to do. This kid was... He was Mojave, maybe? He was part of a tribe that would come from the area of Arizona. And so the whole test was that he had to make a trek across the desert, and he was given one mouthful of water. So he had to jog across the desert and have the discipline to not swallow the entire mouthful, but only kind of nurse it over time. And then he would also have to
I'm out here in the
use
middle of nowhere. My home is actually in Ratchet.
his knowledge to find more water, like from cactus. Cacti plants, you can tap into them and get water.
Keep it real.
Yeah, this is the stone. It's all coming back to me now, adventurer. Adventurer, I'm a scientist, but also a treasure hunter at heart. Long ago, when trolls used to occupy this land, they created large amounts of ornaments modeled after Gazrilla, a hydra they worshipped as a deity. These ornaments are carved out of an element that I call Gazridian, after the hydra god. I did find some myself, but I'd like to have some more to study. Maybe you can find some? I even invented a detector that makes finding the Gazridian a snap. Just put it on, and the search begins. Inside the temple, I found a circular room with 6 balconies, each one with a serpent statue on the edge. Curious, I pushed one of them to see what would happen, and it was a trap. I nearly fell to my death from the explosion. Laying there on the ledge, I looked down. My memories are...
Okay. I think those were all the quests that I was thinking of. So we got 2. We want to pick these up. We need 30 of these, man. That's a lot. So what was the other one? When I think of the desert. Oh. It's it's a movie by Disney, and it has Viggo Mortensen. I can't ever remember. He's Dutch. Well, he's American, but he has Dutch ancestry. His last name is Dutch. He played the king in Lord of the Rings. Arathorn. I can never Aragon, I think. I can never remember that guy's name. And the movie, so it was by Disney, if I remember correctly, and I'm not a big supporter of Disney, but this movie was pretty good. I liked it. And it's called Hidalgo. And it's about a guy back in the day when cars are beginning to take over the world and horses are kind of going away. And this guy was raised by Indians. And he had a Mustang. And a Mustang was not really well respected internationally. And they kind of give you the whole history. Like, they were brought over by the conquistadors. The Indians called it, their word sounded something like Mustang. Like, that's the anglicized version of the Indian word. And because they didn't know what the heck these animals were. And the only word that they had that could come close to describing them was dog. So I think they called it big dog. And that's what that word translated to. And became one of the primary American horse breeds. And he goes into an international race against Arabian horses. And you got to go across the Sahara Desert. And his horse is really frowned upon. And these Arabian horses, and this is real world true also. The horses of Arabia, the pure breeds, are considered some of the most, some of the highest quality horses in the world. And so he was sort of sneered upon, and anyway, the whole thing, he enters into this race. That's what he does. So he's half Indian, right? And he was raised by the tribes. And he exists in an American culture that's really kind of moving towards the cosmopolitan and the city life, and everything's becoming mechanized. And the way he makes his money is he does horse racing against cross-country horse racing. And he gets offered this opportunity. And it's like a meme opportunity. They don't really expect him to win. They think his horse is kind of garbage, right? That's their opinion. But there's a bit of a romantic association and hardiness with the horse and the American culture in general at that point in time. I'm going off of memory here, but I believe that's kind of what got him the invite. Is they're like, well, give the Americans a shot. and let's see what this Mustang can do. This guy is well known in his country, and I don't think you're going to be able to hold up against what we got out here. The desert is completely unforgiving, and you ain't never seen an environment like that. So I think you're going to fall on your face, and you're going to look completely foolish, and that's maybe part of why I'm inviting you, to kind of put you in your place and be able to, you know, low-key celebrate my culture over yours. That's like the sentiment, right? But at the same time, there's enough respect and admiration and wisdom there to be like, but who knows? You know, we're willing to give you the shot. And so he goes off and he enters this race, and a whole bunch of other stuff happens. And there's an entire adventure to it that feels a little bit Indiana Jones-esque, you know, to me. It's not adventuring like looking for artifacts or anything, but old school adventure like save the girl and overcome the stigmas being held against you and stuff like that. It's just I like it. So we're here in Tanaris, and whenever I think about going across the desert and how sketchy that is, those are the two things I think about. The book Vision Quest that I read years and years and years ago whenever I was a kid, and the movie Hidalgo. Oh, I thought that was selectable. Here, this one is. Go ahead and fire at him, and fire at this guy too, and put my pet on them and let him kind of finish them off. Oh, I can skin. I wonder what that blue marker at the end of my cast bar is all about. Oh, I wonder if that's where I can start to do the next cast. That would be pretty cool, as an indicator for where you can spam your spell again. Alright, how many do I have now? I'm at 7 of 30. That, man. Kind of having to grind this out. Let's go out to the Scrimshanks surveying gear, which is here. Nope, those are the ornaments. Oh, okay, so, well, let's focus on one thing at a time. Yeah, okay, there, it's around all these ruins. Leave me alone, glass-eyed gazer. Okay, we're going the right way. 8 of 30. Boy. What did these animals look like that these bleached bones belong to? Nope. They should have little glitters around them if I can actually select them. One-third of the way there. I don't really see anything here, so let's go off to the next one, which is due south. Yep, immune. Should be, yep, ogres. That's what I was expecting to see. We got several here. 14. 15. 16. Let Viper Sting feed me mana back while my pet kills them. 17, I think. Yes. 18. $19. And 2/3 of the way there. We got a bunch here. That was helpful. Oh, there's one. 21. Oh, we might finish it up here. There's one out there, and there's a couple more over here. We're closing in. Let's come around the outside of this wall. Okay, nothing there. We're at what, 24? Okay, 25 right here. Gets me to 27, and I think that's it. So I need 3 more. There's 1 and 2. I think I've cleaned it out. Oh, that's too bad. Well, we should be able to find one in the open desert somewhere. I would, maybe head this direction. Oh, there we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Alright, off to the next area. That's going to be right here. We got to get survey gear. I think that means we're going to have to go into the tunnels. And then I believe we're going to be done with gadgets and, well, Tanaris. What's this do? Oh, I've never used that before. Well, it didn't. Oh, I moved. I needed to stay still. Let's see, that was my F key. Volley. Oh, there's no cooldown on it. That's neat. It uses a lot of mana, I think. Maybe I just used a lot of mana with other abilities too, though. We'll just build it back here with aspect of the Viper. Well, I don't think I'm in the right spot. Let's go back up top side. I'm up over 40,000 XP per hour now. Okay, this way. Let's mount up. Here we go. How do I get out of this? Okay, now am I... It doesn't feel like I'm in the right area. Is there another tunnel? Or is this an end node? It looks like it's an end node. Okay. I remember dying a lot whenever this stuff first came around. And you can see why. They just, literally they swarm. You get into a lot of aggro. They call for friends from quite a long ways away. They spawn little insects when they die. I think this is the right way. Let's see, it's over there, so yeah, we're going the right way. Let's see. I don't even really know what I'm looking for. Oh yeah, the gear. Oh, there it is. Okay. Alrighty then. We can head back topside, make our way back to Gadget Sand, turn in some quests. And I think we'll be done. Excellent. 42,000 XP per hour. The only two quests I have on the list right now are in Ngoro Crater, so this should be it. The wrapping up of Tanaris. I wonder where that vendor's at. Said that there was a vendor there. We turn neither left nor right. We brave the bites from these mobs.
Time is money, friend.
Perfect! These ornaments are perfect for my studies. Thanks so much for the help, adventurer. Oh, can I get my helmet back?
Keep it real. Hurry back.
Alrighty then, that pushes me to 45,000 XP per hour. And we'll ride into Ngoro's Crater to find the flight path. There should be a base of operations down there somewhere. I'm having to reach back 14 years to try and remember, but I want to say that we gotta kind of go through the whole zone, and it's on the western side.
Welcome to Tanaris, adventurer. How can I be of service to you today? You don't look like a blacksmith to me, but I know how looks can be deceiving.
Yeah. Probably not going to need that. Oh, well, we have 2 of the 3. Oh, well. You know, got close. But we're about to leave this zone, and chances of me finding that other one are slim to none.
What's up?
He was a good goblin, young Scrimshank. Let's hope that his demise was not in vain by what he was able to record with his surveying equipment. It seems as though we have quite the situation on our hands here with these bugs. They're way too cunning for their own good, and the research we've done so far is shaping up to indicate that they might even be under the controlling influence of a third party. If this is the case, then it bodes ill for not only Gadgetsan, but the whole desert. I'm going to spend some time taking a look at Scrimshank's surveying gear, as well as putting his personal effects in order. I get the sneaking feeling behind my ears that this isn't the last loss we'll be facing against these bugs. I'd like for you to check in with Alchemist Pestlezug to see if he has had a chance to process the insect parts we sent him. If they're ready, bring them to me. Yes, I have the results right here. They are unsettling, to say the least. Our initial suspicion that the bugs are being controlled by an outside force, we believe, is correct. If this is the case, then we are dealing with not only a very powerful unknown force, but also a malignant one. These bugs have been changed to be pure ravagers. I've never seen anything quite like it. Senior Surveyor Fizzledowser needs to see this report immediately. Actually, everyone who can read needs to see this report. We are facing a grave and serious threat to not only Tanaris and Gadgetsan, but if left unchecked, the entirety of southern Kalimdor. Heck, even quite possible the whole of Azeroth. This thing has given no indication it will subside. Have Fizzledowser make a duplicate of the report for you to distribute freely to your allegiance. Everyone must know about this threat. Thank you for delivering the report, Junior Surveyor Adventurer. Here is your pay for your diligent service to the Gadgetsan Water Company. While I am usually not thrilled about handing out our valuable information carte blanche to those who would otherwise pay good coin for it, I have known Pestlezug for a number of years now. If he recommends letting everyone know about it, then so be it. Give me a moment and I'll make you a copy. I urge you to take this report to someone who has working knowledge in this kind of thing. I know this Night Elf scholar named Gracina Spirit Might. She spent a lot of time studying life forms that are unique to the ecology of Azeroth. She's a historian to boot. If you want someone to help figure out what exactly this threat is, and more importantly, how to stop it, give her the report. We'll need the help. Last I heard, she was residing in the Temple of the Moon, located in Darnassus.
All right. So that was a really good example of what the voiceover add-on does for me. I'm traveling on my way to the next point, and I was able to listen to a whole handful of quests tell me a story of what's going on in this zone and kind of the larger area. I believe all these things were in preparation for the release of Wrath of the Lich King and the Naxxramas raid. Am I saying that right? You guys, Nax. You guys know what I'm talking about. And so it was the precursor stuff before the actual expansion's release. This was out months ahead of time, and it was meant to give to start getting us kind of prepped as a prelude. This zone here, this is a pretty zone, and it's got dinosaurs in it. This is a pretty cool zone. But we're going to make a beeline for the western edge. I'm 5 levels from being able to go to Outland. Level 48. Okay. Level 50. There's a quest right there. Man, they must be intimidated by me. 53, that 4 levels ahead. Okay. That doesn't seem like a whole lot to me, but evidently it is impacting threat radius. There's our first aggro, second aggro. Not sure what level they are. 51, 52. There's a spirit place over here, so maybe we're somewhat close to a camp. But like I said, my memory is that it's on the far western side. It's actually like out here. Whoa, there he is. 55 elite. That's one of, I think, 2, but maybe there were 3. Power crystals. I seem to remember that being a quest for my priest, I think. Maybe it was a quest for everybody, not class specific. Level 54. No. "14 years is a long ways to go back in your memory. Those pillars look familiar. Is this the route to Silithus, maybe? Which would be the next zone over. Yes. So this was a new zone. It even kind of looks like Outland. Which would be the Burning Crusade, not Wrath of the Lich King. And they opened this up. I don't know if it was TBC or Wrath of the Lich King that all this stuff was preparation for. But I do remember this being a good zone for getting your last couple levels that you needed if you were wanting to get into Outland. we're gonna go back down into Ngoro Crater. Somewhere in that place there is, well, here's... I should go get that flight path. I'll do that offline. That's a place right there. Horde owns this. Alliance owns here, I guess. Oh, shoot. Hold on. There was a dungeon. Was that Nax? No. Encourage. AQ. Yeah, that's right. I remember AQ. I never did it. I've never been in AQ before. I just heard about it. So... Marshall Refuge in Ngoro Crater. So it is on my map now. Maybe it was always there and I just didn't notice it. We're a little ways away. So let's drop down into the bowl. Guardian Golem, Elite level 61. So I think I was right in remembering that they were up in these hills. Where am I at? Okay, I'm still not quite there. So it'll be something that's probably pretty obvious. Okay, obviously there's a quest there. Oh. Okay, I went through kind of what my raid shot rotation would be, I think. And I was able to drop a level 51 pretty easily. It must be right here then where Amy 1 is at. Yep. This is the place, another quest right there. There should be a few quests. Yes, there are. Yeah, there's actually a whole handful of them. Do you guys have a flight path? Yes, you do. Okay, this place is shared by Horde and Alliance. Oh, that's right. There was the whole idea that this was a universal threat to all of Azeroth, and so it was encouraged for Horde and Alliance to work together. So they made co-located bases like this. I did think that was pretty interesting. Okay. Well, speaking of flight paths, I gotta take a flight up to Darnassus. But that's where we're going to close this episode out. If I can find that flight master. Where was he? He was up here.
Talk to me.
Oh, level 74 Dwarf Death Knight. Why are you red to me?
Glad I could help.
That's a player, right? Huh. I don't really know. You should be on my side. Okay, well, I gotta go up this way. Alright guys, again, I am Aesop Grim. Thank you for coming by the channel. I hope you like what you saw. More importantly, I hope all is well in your neck of the woods, and I'll see you the next time I stream. It should actually be tomorrow. I don't have anything scheduled for release or anything like that, so it is a day that I'm supposed to be streaming. And so we'll be back in here mañana. How long have I been streaming? 3 hours. That's about 2 to 3 hours what I normally do. Actually, I'd say 1 to 3. I don't normally go over 3. So I will see you guys later. Take care, everybody.